A high school graduation. Caps fly into the air. One graduate, let's call her Maya, holds her diploma, a proud smile on her face. She aced calculus, she can derive the volume of a rotating solid, she understands the Pythagorean theorem. She feels prepared for the world. A few months later, the scene changes. Maya is sitting at her kitchen table, looking completely bewildered. In front of her is not a calculus textbook, but a credit card offer with terms like APR, balance transfer, and minimum payment. The confident smile is gone, replaced by a look of pure confusion. All that advanced math, and none of it prepared her for this. This is the great financial education gap. We're taught the math of the abstract, but not the math of the practical. We learn how to calculate the trajectory of a cannonball, but not the trajectory of our own net worth. The simple arithmetic that governs wealth and poverty is left for us to figure out on our own, often through painful and expensive mistakes. Well, class is now in session. This is the money math course you should have had in school. No abstract theories, just the 5 core calculations that will determine your financial future. Master these, and you'll understand the language of wealth better than 99% of people. Chapter 1. The Master Equation of Wealth. Forget E equals MC squared. The most important equation for your life is this. Wealth equals your income minus your expenses multiplied by your investment returns to the power of time. It looks a little complex, but it's made of 4 simple levers you control. Let's break it down with 2 friends, Leo and Mark. Both are 25, and both earn a solid $60,000 a year. On the surface, they have the same financial starting line, but they pull on different levers of the wealth equation. Leo focuses entirely on the income lever. He works side hustles, chases promotions, and manages to increase his income by 5% every year. But he also lets his lifestyle inflate. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, more expensive vacations. His expenses rise right alongside his income. His savings rate, the income minus expenses part, stays stuck at 10%. Mark, on the other hand, focuses on the income minus expenses gap. His income grows more slowly, maybe 3% a year. But every time he gets a raise, he saves half of the new money and only lets his lifestyle inflate with the other half. He automates his savings and consciously keeps his big expenses, housing, transport, food, in check. His savings rate grows from 15% to 20%, then 25% over a few years. After 10 years, let's do the math. Leo, with his high income but low savings rate, has invested about $76,000. Mark, with his modest income growth but powerful savings rate, has invested over $165,000. That's more than double from the same starting salary. The math is clear. Your savings rate is a more powerful lever than your income, especially early on. Chapter 2. The Tyranny of Bad Math. Now let's look at the dark side of the equation, debt. This is where the math works against you with terrifying speed. Meet Chloe. She wants a new $2,000 laptop for her freelance work. She puts it on her credit card, which has a 21% annual percentage rate, or APR. The bank tells her the minimum payment is just $50 a month. That sounds manageable, so that's what she pays. But here's the math school never taught her. In the first month, the interest alone is $35. That means only $15 of her $50 payment actually went to paying off the laptop. The other 70% was pure profit for the bank. If Chloe only ever pays the minimum, it will take her over 7 years to pay off that laptop. And the total amount she'll pay won't be $2,000. It will be over $3,500. She paid for one laptop for herself and nearly another one for the bank, all because she didn't understand the math of amortization. This leads to a powerful mental model for debt, the rule of 72. To find out how fast your debt doubles at a given interest rate, just divide 72 by the rate. For Chloe's credit card at 21%, her debt would double in just 72 divided by 21, which is about 3.4 years if she made no payments. This math is why high-interest debt is a financial emergency. It's like trying to climb up a down escalator that's speeding up. Every dollar you put towards investments while carrying credit card debt is a dollar fighting a losing battle. The negative math of debt will almost always overpower the positive math of investing. Chapter 3. The Magic of Good Math. Now, for the most exciting part of the wealth equation, the exponent of time. This is where compound interest comes in, and it's the closest thing we have to real-life magic. It's the math that builds fortunes. Let's meet two more people. David, who starts investing $300 a month at age 25, and Emily, who gets a later start but invests double the amount, $600 a month, starting at age 35. Both invest in the same fund, earning an average of 8% per year. By the time they both reach age 65, who has more money? It's not even close. David, the early starter, has a portfolio worth over $1.2 million. Emily, the late starter, who invested more money each month, has just over $820,000. A difference of nearly $400,000. Why? Because David's money had an extra 10 years to work for him. His earliest dollars had 40 years to grow and multiply. Emily's money, while greater in volume, had less time. The time exponent in the wealth equation is the most powerful variable of all. It can make up for smaller contributions, but nothing can make up for lost time. We can use the rule of 72 here as well. At an 8% return, David's money doubles every 9 years, 72 divided by 8. This means his first investment at age 25 doubles at 34, again at 43, again at 52, and again at 61. That's 4 doublings. Emily's first dollar only gets 3 doublings. That one extra cycle makes all the difference. Chapter 4. The Math of Your Biggest Purchase. For most people, buying a house is the biggest financial decision of their lives, and the math is often misunderstood. The price tag you see is not the price you pay. Let's look at a $400,000 home with a 30-year mortgage at a 6% interest rate. Your monthly payment for principal and interest would be about $2,400. Over 30 years, or 360 payments, you will pay a total of $864,000 for that $400,000 house, more than double the sticker price. The other $464,000 is pure interest paid to the bank. Here's the really shocking part. In the first year of your mortgage, you'll pay about $28,800 in payments. Of that, almost $24,000 is interest. Only $4,800 actually goes to paying down your loan. The loan is front-loaded with interest. You spend the first decade mostly paying the bank for the privilege of the loan. This doesn't mean buying a house is bad, but you must understand the math. It also includes property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, often called PITI. A simple rule of thumb is the 1% rule. Expect to pay about 1% of your home's value in maintenance costs every year. For our $400,000 house, that's another $4,000 a year, or $333 a month that you need to budget for. Chapter 5. The Math of Freedom. So we've learned how to save, how to avoid bad debt, how to invest, and how to analyze big purchases. But what's the goal? The ultimate money math equation is the one that tells you when you're free. This is the 4% rule. The 4% rule is a guideline for retirement withdrawal. It states that you can safely withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio in your first year of retirement, and then adjust that amount for inflation each subsequent year, with a very high probability of your money lasting for at least 30 years. But its real power is that we can reverse it to find our financial independence number. The math is stunningly simple. Take your desired annual expenses in retirement and multiply by 25. That's it. That's your target. Let's say you live comfortably on $60,000 a year. Your financial independence number is 60,000 times 25, which equals $1.5 million. Once you have that much invested, the 4% rule says you can withdraw $60,000 a year, and your portfolio will likely sustain itself indefinitely. This number transforms wealth building from a vague idea of getting rich into a concrete mathematical target. It gives you a finish line. Every dollar you save and invest is a tangible step towards that number, towards the point where work becomes a choice, not a necessity. So let's recap the only money math class you'll ever need. First, the wealth equation. Maximize your savings rate. Second, the math of debt. Understand amortization and avoid high-interest loans like the plague. Third, the magic of compounding. Start early because time is your most valuable asset. Fourth, the math of big purchases. Know the true cost of ownership, not just the sticker price. And finally, the math of freedom. Calculate your FI number using the rule of 25. This gives you a clear, achievable goal for your entire financial life. None of this is calculus. It's not trigonometry. It's simple arithmetic applied with consistency and discipline. This is the knowledge that separates those who build wealth from those who wonder where their money went. School may not have taught you this, but now you have no excuse. Class dismissed. If this money math class was more useful than your high school algebra, consider subscribing for more financial lessons they didn't teach you. We break down the complex world of money into simple, actionable advice every week. Thanks for watching.